This is a video I wasn't sure I wanted to make for a while because it's just such a topic that a lot of people are really divided on, and it just gets people all really mad. But in the past few days, the taking down of some Confederate monuments has returned. And this has been happening for a couple years now, where some people will go to some place and take down a monument of some Confederate general, or just something that was dedicated to a bunch of them, or anything like that. And let's talk about the Civil War. The Civil War obviously happened back in the 1860s, and there are a lot of causes of the Civil War. It's just not slavery, that like a lot of people want to think. Now, slavery and state rights were, yes, they were the biggest issues there, but there were a lot of issues that caused it. But sadly, slavery was one of the biggest issues, and we can't go and ignore that. And it is because slavery that a lot of people want to go and join it, and luckily it's something we're past. It was an ugly part of our history, and we're not gonna do something like that again. But I think people always seem to think that everyone on the Confederacy supported slavery, while that is not true. Generally, from what I heard, it's not really 100% known, but a lot of people say that he wasn't for slavery, that he was actually kind of against it, but why he mostly joined the Confederacy was actually because he wanted to go and stand for his country, which for him was the South and Virginia. So a lot of people just like to go and see them as the bad guys and everything, but you know, it's just, you always gotta kind of put yourself in their shoes and see what it was like back then. And you know, they were normal people too. They did have some bad views, just as some northern people did. All the people in North weren't, and we should know that not all the people in North were really for complete civil rights. They weren't for slavery, yes, but they weren't really for civil rights per se. A lot of them sadly did see black people as inferior. Even I think Lincoln 100% didn't see that, and it's just kind of crazy to think that all of our world leaders had these views back then, but that was the world. That's what they were taught. I remember a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, is that the writer of, what's it called, Little House on the Prairie, got taken off this awards list because he had some supposed racist things in her books. But a lot of people are going around and saying it was just supposed to be in the books to go and show the racism in the world, and not herself was racist. But whatever. And a lot of the monuments that have been getting taken down are really old, over a century. Some of them are over a century old. And for a lot of people, when you go and take these down, you're erasing history. These monuments were they were just put there to go and not only honor the memory of these people who, while they did have bad views, were also people in the end. And it's just, when you go and take them down, is that there's that chance that people just might go and forget it. There's that quote, people who don't learn their history are doomed to repeat it. And some people might go and say, well, you can always go to a museum. Do you really think the people who are taking down these monuments are ever going to go to a museum? Do you think they're ever going to go and set foot in one? If they did, they would probably see something like a Native American clothing and freak out because some kind of church that's owned by white people owns it. They're not going to go into a museum. And then you might say, well, they can always watch the show. They're not going to watch a show based on the Civil War or anything like that, unless it had aliens in it. So I'm kind of divided on it. For the most part, I do think that they should stay up. I can see where some people are coming from when people are going around and saying the views about the people, so I can see where they're coming from, but I still don't think they should be taken down. It just seems like it's the wrong idea in the end, and it's just going to cause more trouble. It's just going to hurt more than help. And the thing about it is that even the Civil War people, the Union people, they were more respectful to the Confederacy than the people today are. When Lee surrendered to Grant at Apartment House, Grant went and tipped his hat to Lee, and so did his men, and Lee tipped his hat back. Even though they didn't share the same views, they respected each other. And about 50 years later, when a lot of the Confederate and Union people re-met each other at a reunion, they went and re-met each other. I'm sure some bad words were exchanged, but I don't think really even all that, there were a bunch of fights or anything like that going and given. They did respect each other in the end. They were gentlemen. And the people who do it today, they are not gentlemen and ladies. They are freaking little kids who can't stand that there's people out there who have different opinions than them. I mean, you should always be proud of your country. Every country does have its own bad history. Look at the Germans. Germany does have some bad history to it, and when they look at it, they don't go like, we hate this country. No, there are a lot of Germans out there who are proud of their country, and they should be proud of it. They just shouldn't go and look at some of the bad things and say they hate it. If you don't like your country, then just get out. We don't want you here. And you can also look at it this way, is that back during the Revolution, there was a statue of King George, and all the colonists took it down. So it can kind of, I guess, be seen as the same thing with this. And what they did was, actually with the statue, was that they turned it into bullets. Freedom bullets, I believe they were called, but they turned the statue into bullets and used them for the Revolution. So a lot of people can go and debate whether that and this are the same thing or not. And you can also say that history is written by the winners, which is true. It is written by the winners. And even then, that doesn't mean you should just go and ignore the losers. That if you are going to go and look at them, the people who win, they should definitely get the reward. But the losers shouldn't be 100% ignored. It's kind of like how you look at the World Series or something. The people who lost it, they don't get a reward, as they should, but they at least are recognized for their talent, for what they did. And that's what these people, I think, should get. And it makes me wonder, let's look at alternate history. What if America lost a revolution? We lost a revolution and there was no United States. So all these years later now, there are some people who want to go and make some monuments for people like George Washington and Ben Franklin. But a lot of people see them as traitors. They betrayed Great Britain, and they also owned slaves. So should we go around and take down those monuments? Remember, this takes place in alternate history, so we can't let our feelings of the founding fathers get in the way. This takes place in a history where they lost. So, make them like the Confederates. Would taking down their monuments be okay or not okay? It's another debate right there. And you can also go and say, should we go and take down statues of people in Germany or the Soviet Union or Cuba? I'm pretty sure the people who are taking down Confederate monuments would hate that because they love the Cuba leaders or the Soviet Union leaders. They would probably be against that and kind of show their hypocrisy. Even though I don't agree with the Cuba people or leaders, I still don't think their monuments should be taken down. Even though that Benedict Arnold was a traitor, I still think we should make monuments for him. He was a hero in the end for us. He won a lot of battles for us. He was a great leader, but because he was a traitor, we haven't made any monuments for him. But I still think we should at least remember him for the good things and not just the bad things. The whole thing is just, it's not going to help. It's just making us a more divided country. We are pretty much the most divided we've ever been since the Civil War, and to me, these things aren't going to help. Going and vandalizing something you don't like, whether it's something on the left side or the right side, it's not going to help. It's just going to hurt the problem. Taking down monuments is not going to get rid of slavery, or not going to get rid of racism. Sadly, it's always going to exist. It's existed for thousands of years, and it's going to be here until the end of time. I don't know what to tell you on that. If you really think that's racism is going to go one day, you live in some weird fantasy world that you should really exit and go back to reality. I mean, it would be nice for racism to go away, but it's never going to go away. And to top it off, you have all these extreme right and leftist groups going at each other, and in my opinion, none of them are right. They're both terrible. But the thing that kind of pisses me off about it is that the media completely ignores what the extreme left does, like Antifa. When Antifa goes around and does their terrible things, the media even ignores it, or they just go like, well, what they did was bad, but it's justified violence. They go and defend it, and it's not right in the end. People like Antifa and the Proud Boys and whatever kind of group there is, they're just the same people. They hide behind masks, they cause violence, they like to silence anyone who disagrees with them. They are two sides of the same coin. They are the exact same people, and they should be treated as the same. And if you go and defend one of them, it really goes and shows your viewpoint. But in my opinion, just defending either of them is not good. You're just showing them attention. If we didn't show them any attention, they would completely go away at one point. But both of these people is just that they're just so inside their viewpoint that they think that they're always right, as that there's no convincing them. There's none. But to me, it's stupid to go and take down these monuments. Just let them stay. Or if they do have to get taken down, put them in a museum at least. They hopefully would at least get respected there, because there are historians, and historians respect history. But that's really all I have to go and say on this point. It's just something that's really bothered me for a while. It's just, yes, I do think the Confederate statues should stay, even though I don't agree with the things that the Confederacy really supported, but to me, it's just, I don't know how it's going to help if you go and take them down. It's just, people always get upset if you do these kinds of things, and we've seen it time and time again. What would happen if after the election, people went and started burning books of Hillary Clinton, or anything that's dedicated to her, just getting rid of it? Would that help? No, it wouldn't. And I'm really happy people didn't do it, because it would be stupid. People don't do those things if they actually have any knowledge in them or are respectful. You don't go and just destroy it properly just because it's something that you 100% don't agree with. When Trump won the election, a lot of people were just so upset, and there were people who did, during the 2012 election, who, when Obama won, they said that they were going to go and leave the country or separate their state from the country, and people laughed at them, as they should have. They were stupid. And then 4 years later, the same people who laughed at them said the exact same thing. We're going to leave the country if Trump wins. But hopefully just one day we'll come back together again. I mean, I remember during 9/11 we came really close again, and I would really hate it is that the only way we would come together again is to have another 9/11. That's a horrible, horrible thing to think, but it seems like it's really the only way. But, what do you think? Do you think these monuments should stay, show their history so people can know, or should they be taken down because they represented some wrong stuff that people used to think in the past? What I think is that we always had to put ourselves in their shoes. Life was different back then. People were treated differently and taught differently. People 200 years in the future will think differently than us. You might think you know all the answers, but if you became famous, you might be seen as a bad person 200 years in the future because you had the wrong views. You might not think that now, but tell that to someone 200 years in the past. They probably thought they had all the answers, but today they might be seen as some bad guy because they had one or two bad things about them. So, this video is going on long enough. I gotta get back to my shift soon. It's not too bad. Still got about 20 minutes left, but... And another bad thing on the note. My DS broke. And I only got this thing about a month ago. Really sucks, so I gotta send this back to Nintendo. Why do things have to break? So, yeah, that's all I really have to go and say on this matter. It's just... people are divided on it. I can see why, but it's just such a stupid issue at times when there are bigger issues out there. So, whatever your viewpoint is, I'll let you go and say it. I'm not going to go and censure you for it. I might make a smart-ass comment against you, but that's the worst I'm going to do. So, thanks for watching, and have a great day.